I have no idea. I have no idea how to describe all of this. How? How do the Flyers... I mean, how are they winning these games? How? How the hell are they winning these games? They somehow win this game in overtime over the Islanders, where they were completely outplayed for the second and third period. Completely outplayed, outworked, just out-hustled, out everything. And they somehow come out with a win in overtime? 3-2? Scott Laughton? My mind can't process this. I just can't. I don't know how to process this. Hartsey said it perfectly in the post-game report. This Flyers team is the worst 6-2-1 team that he has ever seen. It's just... How are they winning? When they're playing so sloppy, when they're getting outworked on so many nights. I want to say goaltending. I definitely want... If they didn't have Brian Elliott or Carter Hart, it definitely probably would have been a different story. But how are they winning these games? I don't know how to make a proper explanation for it. I just don't. It's so mind-boggling how they're winning these games. And even going into this game, during the morning skate, a lot of reporters on Twitter were saying, oh, Travis Konecny was going to get benched. And then you found out later that he was going to be benched for Sam Morin. And then also, as an added bonus, Phil Myers was added back to the lineup after missing 4 games with the fractured rib. So, a bonus getting Myers back into the lineup. But then also, TK is getting benched for Sam Morin. So it already sounds like that AV is trying to send a message to his top dogs. He is. And I can understand the benching to an extent. I can. I understand that the Flyers, basically over these first 8 games, even going into this game, the 9th game, haven't been playing their best hockey. Even though they're still winning games. Not playing their best. And AV was especially critical of the top 6 play. He was. Even going back to their last win against the Devils on Thursday. The bottom 6 was the primary reason they won that third period. The bottom 6 was amazing then. The top 6, yeah, they chipped in a goal there. But overall, the bottom 6 was the much better producing part of the lineup then. And I would say at some points today, the fourth line was probably one of their best lines. Because it felt like those guys were more in the offensive zone later in the game. Even though the entire team was getting outworked the majority of the night after the first period. So I can understand Alain Vigneault sending the message to his top dogs. TK, basically he was explaining his 5-on-5 play. Hasn't been happy with it. Hasn't been happy with the team's overall 5-on-5 play, especially Konecny. So he's sending a message to his top dogs. I can understand that. And he already said that TK is going to be playing tomorrow. So he's only going to be benched for this one game. That's basically all it's going to be. And like I said, I understand it to an extent. Because basically Flyers fans were basically one extreme or the other extreme. One, this was a terrible benching by Alain Vigneault. This is horrible. This is putrid. And other people that were understanding of the idea, but also went to a completely different extreme that Konecny sucks and he needs to be traded, blah, 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 blah. All malarkey. But just like I said, I can understand it to an extent. I didn't like that he was being benched against a team where we definitely needed him to play. I understand that over the playoffs as well, he struggled against the Islanders, but Konecny's the entire team was snake-bitten that entire playoff run. Well, I wouldn't say snake-bitten. They just didn't play that well over the entire playoff run, especially Konecny. So, like I said, I understand the benching. I understand you're trying to send a message. And the message worked for one period. It did. The Flyers looked like the much better team in the first period. They did. And just, like I said, they look like the much better team. I'm just, like, so mind-boggled how one period they looked really good, and then the last 2 periods, they looked like absolute shit. They did. Basically, that was the game against the New Jersey Devils. 2 periods, they looked like absolute crap. 1 period, they looked really good. It was basically just flip-flopped in both games. The first and the second period on Thursday, they were bad. The third period, they were good. This game, the first period, they were really good. The second and third, they were bad. And basically, in the first period, the way they were playing so good, the message was being sent The Flyers were forechecking. They were getting into the dirty areas. They were winning puck battles. They were faster than the Islanders, and they anticipated things more than the Islanders. And the Flyers were forcing turnovers, which was the main leads to both goals in this period, especially early on. Scott Laughton turns a puck over in the neutral zone, finds Claude Giroux, and it's basically a back and forth passing play between Giroux and Voracek. Voracek hands it over to Giroux, who's coming up the right side, and then you have Voracek going up the middle, driving the net. And then G finds the perfect tape-to-tape pass right to Voracek, who just puts it into the open net. And it's a 1-0 Flyers lead. And the second goal basically describes the exact same situation. The Flyers turn it over in the offensive and neutral zone, bring it back, and then you got a passing back and forth play between Kevin Hayes and JVR. Hayes hands it over to JVR, who's going up the right side, while Kevin Hayes is driving the net. JVR, perfect tape-to-tape pass. Hayes puts it right into the net. 2-0 Flyers. The Flyers did go on the power play after the first goal, but really didn't generate anything on there. Didn't look that promising. It was only their the only power play of the entire game for them. So they really didn't get to test the Islanders' penalty kill the entire game. And then the first period, shots were six apiece. But I think the Flyers, after that last goal, really didn't get many shots on net. And it felt like as the period was getting to a close, the Islanders did go on a power play. The Flyers managed to kill it off. The Flyers killed off every Islanders power play in this game. But the penalty kill did step up. But it felt like as the period was getting to a close, going into the intermission, the Islanders were getting their legs going. They were starting to find their mojo, their momentum, the way that they can play against the Flyers. But 2-0 after the first period, shots 6-6 apiece. You go into the next period. Complete 180. A complete 180. The Flyers look completely outmatched in every sequence known to man. It was basically a perfect representation of what the playoffs were in the bubble, in the second round against the Islanders. Complete representation. The Flyers were getting outmatched. They were turning pucks over. They couldn't win puck battles. They looked slow. They couldn't handle the forecheck. They basically couldn't do anything out there. The Islanders were basically the better team throughout the last two periods. The better team. The Flyers couldn't handle them one bit. Especially when you have guys forechecking like Anders Lee, Matt Martin, and then when you can't handle guys like Matthew Barzal. Matthew Barzal gives the Flyers so much trouble. He definitely does. He had a lot of chances in this game to get a goal in. Couldn't do it. Couldn't get one by Carter Hart. But early on in this second period, it's one of those situations where the Flyers couldn't get the puck out of the zone. And the Islanders, they cycled. They managed to cycle. They kept the puck in there. And you got one of the defensemen, Pellick. He's bringing the puck around, goes behind Carter Hart. And then Travis Sanheim and Phil Myers, they both make the mistake of trying to double-team Pellick, which allows Jordan Eberle to be wide open in the slot. And then Pellick manages to get the pass out to Eberle, who is wide open in the slot, bears it by Carter Hart, and it's a 2-1 Flyers lead. And basically the same thing happened with the second Islanders goal. Islanders managed to cycle in the zone. The Flyers couldn't clear the puck, and they kept cycling. And then the Flyers kind of looked a little lost out there, especially Sam Morin. And then you got Scott Mayfield, who was wide open on the right side, and Carter Hart has a couple of guys screaming him. Does look a little bit off his angle. Mayfield takes the clap bomb, and it goes right by Carter Hart, and we are tied. And then looking at this goal again, basically on the replays, Sam Morin got into a little bit of a habit thinking he was still a defenseman. And because this guy's a defenseman transitioning into a forward. So, and it's his first game in the NHL, first pro game, playing as a forward. Basically, his only chance at being a forward in an actual live game was the scrimmage game before the season even started. So, old habits. He was playing in the blue paint. He was trying to protect the crease. And his assignment was to get in on Mayfield and prevent him from taking the shot. He tried to get back in there. He did. Was way too late, and Mayfield got the shot off before anything happened. So Carter Hart was screened by a couple of players. Did look like he was off of his angle, but he was screened. He didn't see the puck. So I blame more of the defensive setup rather than Carter Hart on that play. Yeah, if he was in the right position, maybe he could get a save on that. But I blame more of the defensive positioning and the screens right there on that goal for Carter Hart. And just Flyers continue to get outworked. They continue to get outplayed. And especially in the third period, oh my God, the Flyers, after scoring the second goal, they had 6 shot nets at that point, the rest of the game. 8. 8. Through 40 minutes. They had 17 shots total in this game. This was the third time this season the Flyers had a game where they didn't reach 20 shots on net. It's a big problem. That is a huge problem. Yeah, maybe that can correlate to not having Konechny in the lineup. That could. Thankfully, he's going to be in the lineup tomorrow. But 4 shots on net through the second and 8 shots on net through the second and the third period. 4 shots each. Not good enough. Not good enough at all. And the third period, basically, like I said, much of the same. And there was these one sequences where Provorov was out on the ice for way too long. Gustafsson was out on the ice for way too long. The Flyers couldn't get it up through the neutral zone. They were turning the puck over left and right. They couldn't handle the Islanders' forecheck once again. Thank God for the penalty kill coming up huge and killing off all of those power plays. The Flyers just look completely outmatched. And somehow this game goes to overtime. Somehow, Carter having to make a couple of huge stops, especially late in the game, too. Islanders had a chance with a little bit of a 2-on-1. Carter Hart had to come up huge with one save. And it kept the game tied. Thank you for Carter Hart. But somehow this game goes to overtime. And it felt like I can understand 3-on-3. It's a possession game. You want to keep possession. You want to get your play happening. But it felt like the Islanders, they were sitting back a little too much. They weren't pressuring that much, and when they did try to pressure, the Flyers actually made some nice defensive plays to turn the puck over. And that especially happened on one of the goals. I think it was Brock Nelson. He was trying to drive the zone, and at this point it was Ghost, Drew, and Lawton out there. Ghost makes a nice read on Brock Nelson, pins him up against the boards, brings the puck out of the zone, hands it over to Scott Lawton, who brings the puck up, sees that he really has no help because there's 2 other Islanders in the zone. He starts from the right circle, brings the puck over to the left circle, gets Varlamov to come out of his crease, and then he manages to put it in the net. And the Flyers win this game. How? How? You were outplayed for 2 periods. 2 periods. And you somehow managed to win in overtime. A game where you did not deserve a point because of how much you got outplayed. You sneak out with 2? You sneak out with 2 points. A 3-game winning streak. You're 6-2-1. And like I said, Hartnell described it perfectly in the postgame. This is the worst 6-2-1 team that I've ever seen. This team is frustrating, without a doubt. But how are they 6-2-1? Imagine if this team was playing the way they can be. That's showcased in the first period. They played like the team that played last year. And that's what happened with the 2 goals. Why can't they play like that more consistently? But they still managed to win this game. My mind can't process this. It cannot. Oh my God. This team is so frustrating, but they still win. I don't know how to explain it. So what happens when this team actually plays better? Do they lose these games? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I just don't. I don't. Because a lot of the mistakes, like I said, they are still happening. Especially in this game. And I don't know what to expect for tomorrow. You're playing the same exact team. The same exact. Basically, the only difference is TK's back in the lineup and Moose is your starting goaltender. Because AV said that in postgame. So, tomorrow's going to be interesting. Without a doubt. Can you please come up with a better performance, please? I know you got 2 points in this game, but please, come out with a better performance. Please, I'm begging you. Because I'm literally just sitting on my couch, frustrated out of my mind with how this team is playing. They're still winning. They are. But oh boy, is it frustrating. Oh boy, is it so frustrating. And like, I want to say, like, it's still so early in the season. It's 9 games in. Tomorrow will be your 10th game. I'm not using that it's an excuse anymore. Get better. Please. For our own sanity. Please get better. Whew. I think that's going to do it for this video. Like I said, my mind can't process this. The Flyers still somehow come out with a win. They come out with 2 points against the Islanders, 3-2 in the overtime, get outshot by hell. Only have 17 shots the entire game, 4 shots, well, 8 shots through the second and the third period. They still somehow win. Get completely outplayed for 2 periods. But I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. So what are your thoughts and opinions on this game, the way the Flyers played, how they somehow snuck out with 2 points? I want to hear them all. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I am a part of. We'll put their links will be in the description below. Don't forget to check out the Fired Up Podcast merchandise website. That link is also in the description below. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, everyone. And I'll see you next time.